What's up guys, my name is Faddy and this is my 2008 S2000 CR. I started learning about cars, the chassis codes through Initial D. That's pretty much my passion from there. The one that I caught my eye was the God Hand. So he pretty much drive an S2000 as well, an AP1. Love the way it looks, the way it handles, the way he talked about it. I mean, it's just pretty much a driver's car. And I feel like that car, this car specifically, is made for the Canyon. When I got my license, my first car was a 1992 Honda Accord, automatic. You could probably think of whatever you can put on the Honda Accord, I probably did it. Body kit wise, lights, you know, rims, lowered it, pretty much a hack job. And then I bought a 1998 Nissan 240 SX. That was my real car because it was a 5-speed. Car was made primarily for drifting. Going into that scene, I realized drifting wasn't for me, but I loved the car itself, and I used to just drive the car out of like, just pretty much enthusiast. I just love the car. Then I had a 97 GST Eclipse, so a 2G. I had a Bug-Eye WRX. I had a Miata. Think of it of any cars that you can think of Initial D. I had an Evo, I had an STI, I had a Celica GT4, which wasn't part of the Initial D, but that's one of the cars that I definitely wanted to keep. And then I got bored with that again. So I mean, I've been switching cars back and forth. I know I probably dumped a lot of money, wasted a lot of money, but that's part of the car game though. DSM, they're nice looking cars, but they're finicky. They have their issues, and mine was overheating a lot. It was a nice car, I loved it. And the reason why I got that car because of Fast and Furious. No. I would never imagine myself owning a CR. I would imagine myself owning an S2000, but not a CR. Funny story is that I used to have an AP1 prior to this car. Love that car. Power to weight ratio was probably one of the best. And then I had to sell it, unfortunately. So I told myself, I'm gonna get another S2000. I'm gonna get another S2000. So the CR model is limited. There's about 600 for 2008, I think about 300 for 2009. And the reason why it's limited is because it's made primarily for the track. They upgraded a couple things like suspension wise. They got the aero kit on the car, and then they got the CR wing and the OEM hardtop. But besides that, everything else about the car is just like an AP2. Everybody didn't like when the CR first came out because all it is a $10,000 upgrade for an AP2 with a body kit. That's pretty much all it is. I wanted a CR just because it's limited. It's a collector's car. People like to see the 10 out of 10 VIN number just for collectors, just for the collectability for this car. So if there's anything less than 10 out of 10, they feel like it's not valued, that's where it should be. So there's a lot of people that wants a pretty much unmolested car just for the collectability of the car. So I posted this up on the S2000 forum saying that, hey, this is my 2008 CR. I posted this on my Instagram and people were just hating on it because they said, why would you do that to a CR model? But remember this is modified prior to CR being a commodity. So everybody thinks that, oh, it's a CR, it's a rare car, so why would you touch it? But back then, nobody cared about it, so that's the reason why they got upset about it. But for the most part, they didn't like it because it's hacked up primarily. The rear fender was hacked up, so they didn't like that. So they can't switch it back to stock. So because it's been hacked up, it devalued the car. I would prefer it stock as well. I mean, I don't mind the wide fenders, but the rear fenders is what's kind of bothered me a little bit because I didn't like the cut fenders. But as I drive this car more, as I look at this car more, I start to grow on it more and more. And personally, I probably would do the same as well too. If I didn't care about the collectability of the car, I would probably modify and molest the car as well. This is the biggest thing that everybody hates because you can't return it back to stock. So once you cut the rear quarter panel, it's pretty much molested. So, and it's molested because there's no more 10 out of 10 VIN. So all the VIN numbers, like underneath the bumper, the hood, I think there's a couple more in the fender as well or somewhere, but all that's been replaced. So that's the reason why there's no more 10 out of 10. I believe there's only 2 out of 10 VIN. And so because of that, everybody's like, it's molested, this is done. It's not even a CR anymore, but you know what it is. It is what it is. If you guys want a modified car, this car is probably a show car / driver's car. As far as I see as pricing goes, I would say the The S2000 for a stock body will go about 60,000, but as time progresses, it's probably going to increase in value, probably at least 100K or so. So the more rare it gets, the higher the price will go. So in 04 to 06, I would say about 25K to 30K, depending on the mileage. And then for an 08, 09, it will definitely be about 35. Yes, for the right price. I mean, everything has a price, but even though I love this car, I don't want to sell it, but if the price comes, I definitely would. So this car is so much fun. If you guys haven't driven a S2000 yet, I would recommend you doing so, just because the drivability of this car, the power to weight ratio, when you just drive this car and you're taking corners in the canyon, it just hugs. Like, this car is so stable and planted. I would definitely pick this car over any car that I have. I have a Supra, a Mark IV Supra, and driving down the canyon is not comparable to this car. This car is just definitely a driver's car. It's more fun. So, especially who doesn't like the VTEC when it screamed up to about 8.5K, 9K, that thing screams, and that's part where all the funs happen. I think I like the F-Series. The F-Series, it holds its own. It's very reliable. You can boost this car up to about, I would say, 500 to the wheels and without issues. So depending on your tuner, depending on how you mod it and so on, but I think this is a reliable engine platform for this car. I mean, I had this car for about 3 years now, and no issues so far. Supercharged and everything. So it's running at 8 pounds of boost, 365 to the wheels. I'll beat it here and there, but for the most part, this car has been always reliable to me. So for the exterior mods, let's just go out to the front. We got the Jays Racing front fenders, got the Sorcery front bumper, we got the spoon hood, T37V Mark II's wheels. Then I got the Group A side skirt extension, the rear fenders, Jays Racing as well. We got the Voltec 1700, I think it's type 2 spoiler. Car Shop Glow version 1 tail lights. Then got the Yamamoto rear diffuser as well. Oh, and the spoon mirrors and the OEM hardtop. Interior mods, pretty much stock. Besides the Breeds, Lomax Geiges 2 Kevlars seats, modification, shift knob, AEM dual gauges, oil pressure and boost gauge. And I think that's pretty much it. So everything else is stock. The engine wise is pretty much a stage 2 Science of Speed, supercharged kit, and everything else is stock. So I got the ARC cooling fins, I got the ARC, the spark plug covers. I definitely recommend this car to anyone who hasn't experienced the S2000 yet. This car is definitely the car that you should definitely try and see it for yourself. Drive it, I guarantee you're gonna love it. There's a lot of enthusiasts who love the S2000. There's a big S2000 scene here in SoCal. If you guys wanna find more about this car or my other car, just follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, JDM_Faddy. So that's my handle. And I'll try to post more content about this car and my other car.